go as I oh, fantastic. I got about 15 more members away from the rank of gold. So our team is running and I'm super excited about that. I got started here in Live Good in mid-May, exactly. As a matter of fact, May 15th. I want to once again, as I said a little bit earlier, thank you so much. Being from Hawaii, we know that we have a lot of hearts and eyes and prayers headed our way. So on behalf of the people of Hawaii, thank you very much for your prayers. They are most appreciated. I'm a single mom. My son is 18 and he has autism. And it is really, like so many of you, we're going to talk a lot about your story and that it matters on this call, and our why. And he's my why for everything, but he's most importantly my why for getting started in the network marketing space. I'm a novice compared to many of you all. I will tell you that I have only been in the industry for 2 years now. I got started amid the COVID pandemic, looking for a way to walk away from my from a full-time job, or a part-time job, I should say, in order to homeschool my son. It was important for me to do that and take charge of his education as a student with special needs. What I found, however, was the time that suddenly we had together. School, we got knocked out, not in a 6-hour window, but in about 90 minutes. And for the first time in our very busy lives as a one-man band parent, I had more time, quality time to spend with him than I had ever had in the previous years, and it became my non-negotiable. I thought that working from home and finding a means to support us was going to be a temporary thing for us, but it became an absolute non-negotiable. I did not want to give that time that he and I had for the first time in our lives together, especially living in some place as beautiful as Hawaii, heading out to the beach when school was done at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, did not want to go back to the rat race of life. And so I leaned in heavily. And as we're all aware, coming here to Live Good, it was hard. It was hard at my previous 2 companies. The cards were stacked against us. We were not set up to win. So being introduced to Live Good here and finally realizing that it was not my fault through all of my efforts, it was not my fault that I wasn't winning. Super, super excited to be here. And I know you all have your individual stories as well. I want to introduce you to my friend who I met at my previous company. His name is Mr. Mike Smith. He has rank advanced 3 times to the rank of gold in just 3 months here at Live Good. He and his beautiful wife, they make their home in Southern Oregon, where he still maintains a thriving and very busy construction business. Which only proves that you can fit Live Good into the very busy life by simply sharing one link. Just as he is in the gym, let me tell you, my friend here is a workhorse. He is disciplined. And for that reason, he is an amazing spillover creator. And I'm excited to have you all hear from him today. So Mike Smith, where are you at, my friend?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, thank you for that humbling introduction, my friend. If it wasn't for this industry, I wouldn't meet people like Ola and my good friends, Josh and Brittney Cross. So like Ola said, yeah, I'm just a simple contractor from Southern Oregon. And we have a fairly successful business doing what we do in the construction industry. And I don't really need to do network marketing. I do it for the time because like a lot of people, busy is a way of life for a lot of people, and they lack time. You either lack money or you lack time. It's rarely that you have both in your life. So the time aspect is the thing that drew me to the network marketing industry. The thing I love about Live Good is it's the concept of it is amazing. And I just want to talk for a couple of minutes about the success principles that come with looking at Live Good. And when I think of that, I think about being a product of the product. I didn't get in Live Good for the products, like a lot of other people that get in network marketing. It wasn't about the products, it was about the money, which also gives you freedom of time, which is the thing I'm most interested in. But being a product of the product, they had some products that I had never tried before. So when I got in Live Good, there was a specific product like the essential aminos that I'm drinking right here in this bottle this morning was something that I had never tried before. Like Ola said, I like to work out. I'm a fitness guy. I'm in my 50s and I'm a broken old contractor that has joint issues and back problems and knee problems and all those things. So I need anything I can get my hands on that's going to make my quality of life better is something I'm going to be excited about. So taking products that actually make a difference to me. And that's the neat thing about Live Good is our product that we promote is our membership, the $9.95 membership that you pay every month, which is kind of a no-brainer for a guy like me, because I'm going to buy this stuff anyways. Why not buy it from myself? So the membership for $9.95 a month is mind-blowing to me. And being able to take advantage of the stuff that I would buy at a health food store or Amazon or anything like that for better pricing is huge. So I got in Live Good. I wanted to try a specific product. And by doing that, how does that relate to being successful in this industry? Well, when you use your products, you can talk about them. You know, if it's something like essential aminos that makes a difference for a person like me, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to have success in this industry because being a product of the product means I have personal testimony of what makes a difference, you know. And so it started with that, and I started diving into the background of Live Good and what it meant. So I started watching, get on YouTube, look at Live Good's YouTube page and go back and listen to some of those calls that Ryan and Lisa do about products. And by doing that, I learned about magnesium. I have never taken magnesium in my life. It maybe was in a supplement that I took at some point in time, you know, in the course of my lifetime, but specifically targeting magnesium. Well, I'm like, okay, I learned some stuff about magnesium from Ryan and Lisa that I wanted to try it. So I ordered some magnesium. And the first time I took it, I slept all night long. It made a huge difference for a guy like me whose brain just doesn't ever shut off. To have the ability to be able to sleep and rest and wake up more energetic the next day was huge in my life. So taking products is big, you know, and by doing that, it gave me another thing to talk about. So when you have success with those specific type of products, you get what we call credibility, you know, because you have a testimony. When you have credibility, that's something you can use to share with other people that you know that might be struggling with the same thing you're struggling with. You know, like this morning, I'm at the point now, like Ola said, we've been blessed enough to have enough people that joined our team to where we've hit the gold rank. But products are something I always talk about. I walk around, you know, in the construction industry wearing this shirt, you know, or a Live Good hat or something like that. And people want to know what it is that I'm talking about, you know, or I'll wear one of our energy patches now that we got those things out. Those are pretty awesome. Like people are like, what's that on your arm, you know? And that gives you credibility. You're using those products and you're having success in those products, even though our product is the membership, $9.95 a month. It gives you something to talk about with other people, which makes you relatable. And when you're relatable, people want to know what you know. And so you can use that to build your business with people, you know, your sphere of influence, or even on social media. I'm not a big social media guy. I would rather talk to somebody, look them in the eyeballs and tell them what we got going on because it's more relatable. But having success gives you credibility. When you have credibility, like the simple thing of going bronze and Live Good, everybody knows two people. You know, you can get two people in this industry pretty quick. I've had somebody do that in 40 minutes on our team, you know, and so that's pretty amazing that somebody can do that. And when you do that, that also gives you credibility because you have belief. Belief is what you need to be able to share this awesome, amazing opportunity with Live Good that we have. And you can use that to share that information with other people and help other people do the same thing that you've enrolled, like those 2 people that you enrolled to go bronze. You can help them do the same thing. So when you have success and you create credibility, and it gives you the ability to share with other people, what that does is that makes you a leader. And when you have leadership, you know, that's huge in this industry, because leadership is, people can trust you. People know you have skills that you can actually help them. But being a product of the product, our products are so affordable that I just laugh. Honestly, I have to laugh with most people because they want to compare what they have in their deal compared to what we have in our deal. And I'm just like, I can't pay $70 for what you got, man. It's like, I can get the same thing for $18 here. Like, why? In what world is that okay? You know, I just, it's not okay. And so I'm not going to debate it. I'm just going to laugh. You know, I wish you well, but I'm just going to laugh. So having success with products, order the products. They're affordable. They're awesome. Build your own story based on what the products can do for you, like they've done for me, a broken contractor from Southern Oregon. You know, if anybody that like me can do this thing, anybody can succeed in it. That's for sure. So order some products. Our product is the $9.95 membership, but the products that Live Good has are game changing for your life. You know, if you check those out and you build your story based on that, you're going to have success. And when you have success, because of that, you can share it. And when you can share it, you can teach other people how to do the same thing, and you'll have leadership and you'll have credibility in this industry. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Be a product of the product, create your own story, have some success with what you use personally, and share that with people you know and impact their lives. It's that simple. Live Good's an amazing opportunity. I'm super blessed to be part of this growing company, and I just can't wait to see what this future has for us all in this industry over the next 10 years or so.
So awesome, Mike. Thank you so much. And you're right. The products are amazing. Like you, Mike and I bonded and have continued to solidify our friendship here at Live Good now, because yeah, you know, we both were not real product people. We're here for the money. I like to say, you know, I'd have sold golf balls if somebody taught me how to make money at it. And I've never held a golf club or played a round of golf in my life. So yes, I am here for the money as a single mom. Time is obviously, I shared my story, and that's why I stepped away from a full-time radio career as a single mom, because kids spell love T-I-M-E, do they not? And as the only person in his life, I wanted to be able to give as much of myself to him as I possibly could. But I also needed, as a single parent, to be able to support us. And so I really stepped into this industry because of what I was told was, you know, available here. And I went through 2 companies and did not find that to be true there. However, I find it to be incredibly true here. Part of this, of what we're trying to communicate to you as a team here today on this training call, is that this opportunity truly is for the little guy. We have all seen, from whatever company you came from, you have seen the leaders come over, get the flyouts, get the, you know, the bridge loans and what have you. And we have absolutely obliterated that here. This is an opportunity for everybody to win at, and we're all just so happy and proud, as I know all of you are, to be a part of it. Mike talked about he really loves that belly to belly as a single mom, very busy with a kid with autism. Social media is my friend. This is where I meet people out of necessity. So, you know, you can do this however it works and fits in your life. But you guys didn't come here to hear from me. I have got to introduce you to 2 people who I feel so supremely blessed to have been brought together. God, in all of his infinite wisdom, saw fit to introduce them into my life in this in this season. And I just couldn't be more grateful were it not for them and what they saw in me. I wouldn't be developing into the leader, and really by extension, and perhaps much more importantly, the human that I am today. They are so much more than mentors in this space. They are incredible friends. And I'm not going to tell you too much of their story, because really your story matters is the crux of what they'd like to talk to you guys about today. And so I want to leave their story to them. But as I said, if you're just jumping on this call, maybe you missed it. Josh and Brittney Cross have been in this industry for a number of years, but they have been at Live Good here now since March. And in that time, I want to say it was less than 3 months, they have ranked up to the level of platinum here. They have personally enrolled 174 people, blessing lives all over the world with the Live Good opportunity. It has them currently, I just checked to make sure, as I said, I have to check at least every day because they'd be moving up the leaderboard like George and Wheezy, as I said, number 23 on the Live Good leaderboard. And I couldn't ask for better mentors or better friends. So I'd like to turn things over right now and introduce you guys to my wonderful friends, Joshua and Brittney Cross.
Oh my goodness,
yes.
Ola. You are about to make us get emotional.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting. You are incredible. We knew you would be the best to be able to engage with people. So
So we're excited, and hopefully, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ola. You guys did such a good job setting up the call really for the training that we're ultimately about to do. I know we kind of cued you guys in on it, so you had an idea, but everybody on the call, I really want you to understand that you guys all now know who Ola is. You all now know who Mike is. Why? Because they shared their story with you, right? And so that's the topic of our training today. If you're not picking up on that, I hope you are now. The topic of Brittney and my training today, and we're going to transition to the process as well, but the most important tool that you possibly have in this space, the most important tool is your story. And here's why. You can't just be throwing out links on Facebook and expecting people to follow you, or telling people, hey, I got this great opportunity. And if they don't know why you do what you do, right? People are going to follow people that they trust, right? And so if you're not putting, and how we develop trust is by sharing our story with people. That doesn't mean everybody's going to relate to our story, but people are going to trust us way more when they feel that they know us. And how do they know us? Is when they know our story. So to share our story with you, Joshua Cross, Brittney Cross, we've been in the industry now. January will actually be 9 years that we've been in the network marketing industry. I was a police officer when we got started in this industry. I had become a cop when I was 23 years old. It's actually what I went to college for. I got out of foster care. I grew up in foster care, got out of foster care, went to college thinking I want to make a difference. I don't want to be a statistic. And so I pursued law enforcement, became a cop at 23. Brittney followed me into that crazy line of work and became a 911 dispatcher. And for us, that was our life for the next 7 years. We got 3 kids, and we never saw each other. I worked second shift. She worked midnights. And we were just, honestly, we were just roommates, really, and barely even that, because we weren't even at home at the same time most of the time. So when I was home, she was asleep during the day and the kids were at school. So that was our life for so long. And we got to 30 years old and we were looking at our life thinking like, this is not what we want. And life had taken such a major toll on us that we were allowing each other to blame each other for all our problems. And that was taking a toll on our marriage, caused a lot of struggles, all the way to the point that we were most likely going to get a divorce and just really struggling. So I won't go into the depths of all that, but in January of 2015, I made a post on Facebook that I was looking for a way to earn an extra income. And a guy, and here's why I say your story matters, because a guy, look, I was a skeptical police officer. but a guy who was a police officer. I didn't know him well, but I knew him enough. He was another cop about an hour away from me, and I knew him well enough to kind of know who he was. I didn't have to know all the ins and outs of his life, but I trusted him enough because I kind of knew who he was, right? I kind of knew his story. And so he said, hey man, check out what I do. It's in the nutrition space. And I earned about $6,000 my first year with little time commitment. So that's why we got started in this space. He did me the best thing ever. He called me on the phone and connected me with someone who was successful in this space. He didn't just throw a link at me. He connected me with someone to teach, train, and mentor me. And I said, you know what? I want this. And so we got started in this space, not for where we are, or what we've been able to achieve over 9 years. We got started in this space because I heard $500 a month. And if I could make $500 a month selling vitamins out of the trunk of my car, that's what I was willing to do, right? And so we got started. Our first month in this space, we earned $130. And I remember thinking, man, that is hope. And I was working my tail off. Our second month in the space, we earned $500. And we ultimately went on to do pretty well. Was able to bring my wife home from 911 dispatching. I shortly after came home. And then after about 4.5 years in the company that we were in, after about 4.5 years in the company we were in, they decided to restructure their compensation plan. And when they did that, it rocked our world because we had gotten to the point where we were living a life of mostly freedom, just doing what we do. And so that sent us into, when they did that, we lost 95% of our income. And that sent us into a limbo phase and caused us to really ask, do we want to do this? Are we going to continue in this industry? Are we going to continue doing this network marketing thing? And so that we were in limbo for about 2 years, got started with another company in 21, and we saw it from the perspective of a leader. And Ola said that we were going to talk about, he was going to hear about the little guy. And I just told you I'm a former foster kid turned police officer from Southern Illinois. And so we saw that company from the perspective of a leader, and we were like, oh man, this will be great. But we failed to see it from the perspective of the little guy. And so we spent about 2 years in that company, and then we just started to see like the little guy was not winning. The little guy was not winning. And so it really just started to irk us. And so finally, we decided after talking to a friend of mine who is actually friends with Ben Glinsky, after talking to him, they have known each other. I trusted, again, story matters, right? My friend Justin, Ben actually just talked about Justin Clark the other day, and I know Tim knows Justin as well. My friend Justin, who I knew his story, I knew who he was, I trusted him because of that, told me about what's going on here. And so finally we decided to give this thing a go. And in the beginning, I'll tell you, we kind of tiptoed and questioned, are we going to do this? And then as we were in Centralia, Illinois, I saw that in the chat, as we started to see people, for example, my buddy Clint, he's a hillbilly from Southern Illinois. He lives in Blueford, Illinois. He's not a network marketer. He was the first person I shared with. And as he had success, he shared with like his sisters and his nephew, just a few people, and he had some success. And I started to think, man, if Clint can do this, then anybody can. And it really started to fill our cup. And so what I want to share with you today is that's what turned a fire on in us. And so when people sometimes people will look at us and they'll say, well, why, like you're at number 23 or whatever on the leaderboard, you've personally sponsored 174 people. Why? What's why, or how have you done it? And I'll talk about the process here in a second, and I'll explain the process. I'm going to give the secret to you guys. But the why we've done that is because when we looked at Live Good, we didn't look at Live Good with the mindset of, I'm going to sign up and I'm going to wait for spillover. And I sure hope I get spillover one day. We didn't look at Live Good that way. We looked at Live Good as, We didn't look at Live Good as I'm going to sign up and hopefully I find a couple people who will do this. No, hopefully I find a leader who will run. No, we look at Live Good as we're going to create spillover. So when my people ask me about spillover, I say, you hang in here long enough with me. You hang in here long enough with me. Because guess what? Because I'm going to create spillover. I'm going to build this. And I want them to come with me. I want them to run with me. And of course, it'll grow faster for them if they will work it. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. But I'm not mad at people who aren't working it. If they're just, they just want to sit there and have a membership, as long as you ain't complaining with me, you hang in here with me long enough, and I'm going to create spillover. So that's what's driving me in Live Good, not, ooh, who can I find to get to build this? Or, ooh, I sure hope I get spillover. What's driving me into action in Live Good is because I have people who have for years trusted in me, and put their faith in me and believed in me, and I am not going to let them down. My kids are in this company. I'm going to create spillover for them. People who I absolutely love, Ola, Mike, people who I absolutely love, I genuinely care about. These aren't random strangers to me. These are people who have trusted in me. And if they've trusted in me, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to run through walls to build this thing. And I hope that as you're looking at Live Good, you're not looking at Live Good and saying, man, I sure hope I get spillover. If you're on this call on a Saturday, I sure hope, I'm guessing you're not a spillover waiter, right? You're probably a spillover creator. And I hope that as you're looking at Live Good, you're thinking, you know what? If I got anybody that's trusting in me, I have to build this for them. I owe it to build this for them. I'm running through walls to build this for them. And I don't care what nobody thinks. We're flexing on these overpriced products. We're flexing on them. These other companies that are selling patches for $70, we got them for 15. I'm proudly flexing on them for what we have here, because of the bigger mission is people can finally believe in something. People who have, my buddy Clint, like I said, he is a hillbilly from Southern Illinois. Like, he is not a network marketer, right? But he finally has something he can believe in. And I owe it to him to build this. I owe it to my daughter, Reagan. I owe it to my son, Jaron. I owe it to my son, Alec, and to build this. And yes, I want them to build this too. But if they don't, I'm not mad at them. That's okay. I'm going to build it. And so I tell you to, number one, make sure people, your story matters. Well, the leaders here have just spoke about their story very intentionally, because to let you know, you need to be sharing your story with people. You can't just be expecting, I'm going to throw a link out on Facebook, right? You need to, if you're using social media, and the people need to be able to go to your social media and get a good understanding of who you are, right? And if you're going to build some trust. And then as you're running with Live Good and building Live Good, you got to have the mindset of, look, I'm building this. I hope that they're coming with me. I want them to come with me. But if they don't, hang on long enough, because I'm going to do it. I'm sold out. I'm sold out. We're going one direction. We're taking a lot of people with us. So with that, before I transition into the exact process, because I'm going to give you guys the exact, like, you're going to get step by step exactly what we do. Before I transition into that, what you got about that, Mama?
I was just going to say that just make sure you're sharing your story, because people are going to connect to you. So I know a lot of people just throw their links out there, and I post, I promise, if you're following me, I post my link on my stories and on our social media platforms, all of those things. But those people, even if a random person connects and goes to that enrollment link and enrolls with us, we still connect with them and they still know our story afterwards, because if they don't know who they're aligned with, they're going to quit. Right? That's why our retention rate is so high, because they know who we are and they know we have their back, regardless of what they came here for, whether that's just a membership so they can get good products, or if that's they want to be just wait for the spillover, or they want to run with us. They know who we are and they feel connected. And so you need to connect with people, and then your retention rate. So if you're losing people, connect more with people, right? Let them know who you are. Let them know why you're doing this, because more than likely they have a story too, and they can resonate somehow with your story. Even if it's different, they have a why. And if you share your why, then they're going to feel more connected to you.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Awesome. So your story matters. Just know that. Share your
And your
story.
story doesn't have to be elaborate like Josh and I. Mine and Josh's story is an elaborate story. I promised in the beginning 8 years ago, we did not share the in-depth details of everything that we've gone through. But you do have to share with people why you're doing this and what Live Good means to you. Even if it's just products, like Mike said, like what the products do for you is a very strong way to stand up for yourself, and people will follow that.
Yeah. So just to give you a guideline, if you are saying, how do I structure my story? Where you were, what you saw, what you did, where you're going, so that. Where are you going and why? Tell people you're so that. Look, I'm going to be making an extra, this time next year, I'm going to be making an extra $1,000 a month so that I can pay for my truck payment, to remove a little bit of financial strain from my four walls. So with that, I'm going to quickly share our exact process, because our process is so incredibly simple that we do, that I can quickly share with you guys exactly what we do verbatim. So number one, first and foremost, when you get started here, you have to make a list. You have to make a list. You just have to make a list. The truth is, if you don't have a list, you don't have a business. That's the reality. You always have to be, you always are working from a list. Okay. And you can't just be posting and praying. You have to work from a list. You have to create a list. And it may start out with 20 people, right? From your phone and Facebook or whatever, but you have to have a list. And as you create that list, you're going to be reaching out to people. And look, I'll tell you, when we first got started with Live Good, we didn't post on our Facebook wall that we were with Live Good. I know some people will say blast it all over your Facebook wall. We didn't do that for the first probably 2 months or so that we were with Live Good, because we were behind the scenes doing this work right here. We would reach out to people from our list. Now, mind you, we made a big list. We would reach out to people from our list and we would say, hey, let's say Ola. Hey, Ola, Britt and I partnered with a new company in the nutrition space. Great products that are incredibly affordable. I'm talking less than Walmart or Amazon pricing. Was wondering if you were open to taking 5 minutes to check out a video that will give you a brief overview of what we're doing. Look, we use the word open instead of interested, because you're going to elicit a yes response before if you use the word open, because most people don't want to say no, because then they're saying they're closed, right? Because people don't want to say, oh no, I'm closed. And so very intentionally, that verbiage, I use that verbiage very intentionally, but that's all I did. Every single person. Well, what is it? It does not matter what they ask. No matter what they would say, I simply say, I respond to them with the following, no matter what they say, whether they say, what is it? What are you doing? And the only way I don't respond with this is if they say, no, they shoot me down. If they shoot me down, I just say, okay, thumbs up, move on. The next thing I say is, no matter what they say, is check out the 5-minute video at this link and do the reserve your spot thing. It's free and it will allow you to look at all the products, ingredients, prices, and check out the pay plan in detail. Plus, you'll be able to see how it's growing and how the done for you system works. It's incredible. After you submit your name and email address, the company will send you an email with a link to join now. That link will take you to a mini back office so that you can check out all the things. After I get the email notification that you reserved your spot, we can dive into questions that you will most likely have. And I send them my tour link along with that. So I say those things I don't just throw my tour link at people. I tell them, look, you got to get pre-enrolled. I want them pre-enrolled because the company is doing follow-up for me. I want them pre-enrolled because the company is doing follow-up for me. And if they're pre-enrolled, I don't have to do a whole bunch of follow-up. They're getting follow-up emails, right? And so I also give them value as to why they should pre-enroll. I tell them it's free, and I tell them, look, you can check out products, ingredients, prices, the pay plan, all the things at that little mini back office, right? And so the recording will be out there, so you can you can just type what I said for those that are asking for that. Oh, it looks like somebody just said, oh, I need that. Anyway, sorry, don't distract me. I'll get my ADD going on here, people. So with that, that's what I say to people. If they ask me a question, here's the catch, guys. Here's where I think some people that we've trained this on mess up, because the people will be like, well, what's the ingredients? After I get the notification that you reserved your spot, we can dive into questions. Then they'll say, well, how much can you get paid? After I get the notification that you reserved your spot, then we can dive into questions. Well, how long you been doing this? After I get the notification that you reserved your spot, then we can dive into questions. If I don't have a notification in my email that they have reserved a spot with me, we're not talking. I don't have time to do that. I'm a spillover creator, and I'm building this for those who have trusted in me. I don't have time to be going back and forth with people who are like, well, is there these micronutrients? Nah, I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing that. I am not spending time back and forth with people who are asking me silly questions that ain't even reserved a spot with me. That is such a good way to save yourself a ton of time by vetting those who are actually interested. If they're not, you didn't ask them for their firstborn child. You asked for their name and email address. Their name and email address. So if they're not willing to give you their name and email address, maybe it's because they don't trust you. Maybe we need to go back to the story, right? Maybe it's because they don't know who you are, because they don't know your story, and there hasn't been enough trust built. Or maybe they're just not that close a friend anyway, so move on to the next. Right. So that's the reality. I'm not answering questions. You're not getting questions answered from me if you haven't pre-enrolled. Now, once you pre-enroll, if you haven't seen it, if you don't use it, as soon as I get the notification that somebody pre-enrolls, my next step is I add them to the Live Good products testimonials group, because I want something about Live Good showing up in their Facebook feed. I want that showing up in their Facebook feed. And so I add them to the product testimonial group. And then I also send them, again, the why matters, right? I also send them the video of Ben. There's a video out there of Ben, it's on YouTube, of Ben talking in the car that we're changing this. Ben's, I hope everybody's seen it. Anybody that I personally enrolled has seen it. I send them that because I want them to know the why behind Live Good. And I say, hey, I got the notification that you pre-enrolled. I've added you to the Live Good testimonials page, and I also want to send you this so you know the why. It's like a little 3 or 5 minute video on YouTube. Ben and Notter are talking in their car about the why behind Live Good, right? Because I want people to know why. I want them to see more than just they're selling products. Not only do they need to know my why, but they need to know the why behind this company and what we're doing here. So from there, so I tell you that to say the process is I spend about maybe an hour to 2 hours after the Friday morning kickoff call. Now, mind you, if you don't know, there's a Friday morning kickoff call. It's streamed live on YouTube every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Immediately after that call, so I got all the updates, all the things. I'm always excited after that call. I spend about an hour, maybe 2 hours doing some reach outs, right? I do the same on Saturday after this call. I spend about an hour, maybe 2 hours doing some reach outs. And then sometimes on Sundays, I'll do a little bit. From there, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what I do is I will just kind of casually, if I see an opportunity, I will. I'm just not intentional about it. But what happens is a lot of those people, I usually do about 100 reach outs to people on between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then a lot of those people are getting back to me on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so many of them are pre-enrolling. So I'm responding to them because they pre-enrolled, right? And so then when they do that, I'm utilizing it just kind of as they get back to me or whatever, I'll have those conversations. But then on Thursday, I am very intentional. Thursday morning, every single person that has pre-enrolled with me, I'm going to reach out to them and even though they got an email from the company, I'm letting them know that there's the cutoff call is Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Thursday morning, I'm reaching out to every single person who's pre-enrolled with me that week. And I say, hey, just wanted to check, that hasn't already become a member. Hey, just wanted to check in with you, see if you had any questions because you pre-enrolled with me. See if you've had any time to do some digging. The cutoff is tonight to get placed into the matrix. There's a cutoff call at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Here's the link, and I send them the link to the live stream, right? And so, with that being said, that process is and then I rinse and repeat starting on Friday throughout the week. Also, keep in mind, there's the Monday product call for those individuals. If after someone's pre-enrolled with you, they got questions about collagen. Okay, here's a link. And I send them the link from the YouTube channel under videos to collagen. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually don't answer hardly any questions. 95% of the time, I'm just sending people if they are pre-enrolled with me, I'm actually not even answering the questions. I'm just telling them where they can find the answer to the question, because I don't spend time answering a bunch of questions, right? I'm telling them where they can find. I'm not gonna. I'll get distracted. Sorry. So that's the process. From there, what that has produced, I'll just give you very transparent numbers because I'm a numbers person. I appreciate knowing raw, real numbers. And I'm going to actually log into my back office and tell you guys exactly what that has produced. So if you go to my referrals tab, there have been 299 people that have pre-enrolled with us. 299 people have pre-enrolled with us. Then if you go to my team tab, out of that, 174 people have become members / affiliates. So if you take 174 divided by 299, that's a 58.19% conversion rate. That's incredible. That's incredible, right? And so then out of that 174, Brittney talked about retention. 168 of them have stuck, right? So 168 divided by 174 is a 96.5% retention rate, right? And so that's our process. That's it, guys. There's no secret beyond that. That's what we do. There's nothing else that we do other than share our story, and that process right there. So with that, what do you got in reference to that? I hope I gave it to all to them.
I think that you did great. I think number one, I think just so many people just do too much busy work. That, like Josh said, refer people to the YouTube channel. Don't answer questions if they're not pre-enrolled with you. You guys are a lot of people just spend too much time doing stuff that's unproductive and is not getting you where you want to go. And so don't do those things. Do productive activities. And then also, as far as making your list and reaching out to people, if you're on social media, like Mike said, he's not huge on social media. He does do a great job. If you do follow him, he actually is good on social media, but I know he does a lot of face-to-face type things. But if, as far as social media goes, people need to see that you are doing Live Good. And so when you're reaching out to people, you've sent them your link, even if they haven't pre-enrolled with you, maybe they have that sitting there. If you're on social media and you're doing things, it's going to trigger them back to that link, right? We've had tons of people that don't pre-enroll with us, and we've had that conversation, asked them to watch the video, we send it to them, they don't pre-enroll, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, after we posted something like the energy patches, when they came out, we had multiple people, as soon as we posted on social media that those were out, how much we were loving them, they went back and pre-enrolled with us. And then we had that opportunity to reach out to them. And what they were doing is they were waiting on something that triggered in their head that they wanted. So it's about their timing too, not always about your timing.
Yeah. Like Britt said, for our first couple of months, we didn't post on our social media. We were doing the behind the scenes work of building that way when we started promoting on our social media. Now our social media acts as a follow-up. Now it's not all Live Good stuff. We also put our life stuff out there. So they, again, building our story, our trust, all those things. But then also our social media now acts as a follow-up. But for the first couple months, we were doing the behind the scenes work that nobody else wants to do for some reason. A lot of people just want to post and pray, right? There's a difference. Remember, prospecting is the behind the scenes work. Marketing is what you're doing out there on social media. And a lot of people just want to do marketing and they want to do no prospecting. Some people do prospecting and they don't want to put it out there. But then the problem with that is you don't, those people that you talk to, they don't have nothing to watch afterwards, right? So, all right, anything else? I think that this, I hope that this training has been absolute fire, giving